Hey guys, Hasbro sent me their Cookie Monster replica to give you an up-close look. So the first thing you'll think when you look at this thing in person is, oh my gosh, that's Cookie Monster. And I mean, the real Cookie Monster is what it looks like. And I know, I've been to the Sesame Street Workshop. I've seen the real Cookie Monster right in front of me. And this is so accurate. No one's gonna come to your house and think that this is a stuffed animal or something. This is truly a work of art. But the coolest thing about it is that it is completely posable. The mouth, the arms, the fingers, it can even bend its legs to sit down. It kind of works almost like a stop animation puppet, which could make it really useful for all types of different situations. And the cool thing about that is you can pose him in any type of position that you want. You can even reenact a pose that Cookie Monster did on the actual show. He could be used in a lot of different ways, but one really cool way to use him is especially if you're a photographer, especially if you do newborn photography or family photography. How cool would it be to have like a real Cookie Monster in the shots? I think a lot of people would think that was pretty cool. You don't even have to be a professional photographer to do that. These are some pictures I just took of my daughter with the Cookie Monster in our own house. And I'm not a professional photographer. And maybe you're a doctor or a dentist, or maybe you know a doctor or a dentist that might think this was a pretty cool thing to have in their office. Imagine a kid that's afraid to go to the doctor coming in to see essentially a friend that he's familiar with, or even at a daycare. But if you put it at a daycare, I'd put it kind of high up because it's definitely not a toy. I think we can all agree that this is one of the coolest things that's ever existed, but unfortunately the only way this can actually go into production is if it reaches its crowdfunding goal. This only goes into production if there is at least 3,000 pre-orders, and the deadline is August 25th. But please do not wait to the last minute to do your pledge. The faster that number grows, the more likely people are to jump in. Plus, you don't get charged to the 25th anyway, and only if it reaches its goal of 3,000. Even if you're unable to order one at this time, please share it with someone that you think would enjoy it. If you know any photographers, doctors or dentists, or someone that works in a daycare, or even send it to someone that might just think it's a cool project. The more people that know about it, the better. Well, I'm gonna go become a backer myself right now. Here's another close look. So here's an up close look at the eyes. You can see that this completely can spin just like that, which is really nice. And this texture of this fur is just perfect. Let's get a good look inside the mouth here. The stitching is just fantastic. Look at that. There's no furs that are kind of caught in those edges, which I guess is, it's exactly what you'd expect, but just seeing it so flawless and perfect. And I love this fabric. I can't even quite tell what it is. It's not a felt, and it doesn't seem like any velvet that I've seen. It has such a short pile to it. And it has that perfect, it's not too reflective, which is really nice. And here's the belly, nice and soft. And here's the cookie. You can see all that realistic detail because this is actually just printed. Now this is just the demo one, so it is actually printed on both sides, the real one. Now let's take a look at these fingers over here, because one thing that's really nice about this hand is, well, actually you look at it, it just looks like a big fur blob, but there's actually a lot more detail in it than you would expect. Because one thing about Cookie Monster is you probably notice when he moves his hands, his fingertips flop around, and fur doesn't flop. I mean, these fur fibers, they don't flop by themselves, okay? So what the actual Cookie Monster has, and this one has too, is some loose fabric that hangs off of it, which gives it that floppy nature, which is really, really a nice detail that I'm glad that they picked up on. And now we're moving down the side a little bit. Again, look at this rich fur. The coloring is perfect. That texture. You know how hard it is to get a good texture for these types of characters? It's nearly impossible. It takes a lot of work. Okay, now going down to his feet, it's that same kind of detail that is in the hands. Okay, it's a little hard to see his toes, but he does have the same type of treatment on his toes, and he does have the toes right there. There's 4 toes there sticking out. And just look at this. And the joints, that's another thing that's really nice too, is there are joints in there, but you can't really tell because of the nature of the pile of the fur. And again, the whole head moves, the mouth closes and opens just like this, and it'll stay wherever you put it. If you open it wider, if you leave it there, it'll stay. And let's look at this guy in profile. Look at that. Oh man, it is really just a masterpiece. If this is fully back, it will only be shipped to people in the US and Canada. But I have a link in the description that'll help people that are not in the US or Canada. Be sure to check that out. I know, Freddy, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, we do have to send the Cookie Monster back, because he's not ours. Hasbro did not give him to us. They just let us borrow it to do this quick video, and to help promote it so we can get more backers. And we really hope you guys can help support this, because Fred really wants one, and we just ordered one, so it's only going to come in if we hit 3,000 backers. So please make sure you share it, and let me know if you do. Tag me at Adam Krutinger, and we're gonna get Fred her nap now. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.